Now, the entire crisis that has trailed the eco currency matter is being placed at the doorstep of President Emmanuel Macron of France for the sheer audacity of his actions in Ivory Coast, where the announcement was made. Analysts have questioned the rationale behind replacing a dysfunctional currency dependent on France with another dysfunctional currency still dependent on France. Economic Affairs Analyst Victor Okhai now joins me to take a further look at the possible implications. Now, so you know, Victor actually named the currency ECHO. He won the competition organized for naming that currency. Victor, thank you so much for joining us on Arise Africa.
Thank you for having me.
I wonder what your take on the controversies that have trailed the ECHO, which you named, and why ECHO?
Well, I would have thought it was obvious, with the euro and all that. So it's not like any deep thinking, but sometimes the answers to the most complicated problems are the simplest of things. It was easy, it's easily memorable, you can remember that. And of course, this is ECHO, so it was only natural. So, but concerning the controversies, for me, I think it's needless because Nigeria, you know, as it did with the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, permanent use word slacked. You know, didn't take leadership, didn't take ownership. Okay. Where your matter is being discussed, or any matter for that matter is being discussed, it's important that you're in the room. I will illustrate. I don't know if we have time, but I'll just tell a very short story to illustrate what I'm talking about. It's something that happened in the animal kingdom years ago. Animals were dying, and they was said that they had to go to the gods to get a solution. And so on their way going, they met the goat. And the goat asked, where are you going? They said, oh, but don't you know we're going for? I said, okay, you guys go. Whatever I decided, come back, let me know. And so they went there. And so when they got there, the gods decided that one of them was going to be sacrificed. They named the chicken. They called the chicken. Chicken said no. They called the dog. He said no. Someone said the goat. And everyone agreed the goat.
Because the goat was not admitted.
Well, on their way back. So the goat said, so what was agreed? Oh, they said somebody said, oh, beautiful. So who is it? They said the goat said, oh, he started complaining. I said, no, but you should have been there. And so the lesson in that simply is that where important and critical decisions are going to be taken, whether you agree or not, you've got to have put your foot in the door and be there. We didn't do that with the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. We slacked. Imagine that only Togo met one of the three major criteria that was supposed to have been met for the, adoption. For the adoption. Only Togo. And what does that tell you? I mean, it just tells you about, if you like, the fiscal and monetary discipline of the Nigerian government. There are things, this is not the first time this is happening. We did that with Bakassi and we lost out. We did that with PNID and we lost out. I could go and give you examples. There are agreements we had with Cameroon in 2012, the dam that burst and all of that. We had an agreement. We didn't take it serious. We keep slipping on our rights and on what we ought to do, and we're playing catch-up. Instead of being proactive, we become reactive. Now the French have seized the gauntlet, and now what are we doing? We're trying to be reactive. You know, it needn't have been so. You know, so, and that's what's happening at the moment.
Okay, so Nigeria, you know, accounted for about 60% and above of trade in West Africa. What are the implications of Nigeria not adopting? Because now the country is taking a cautious view of this hasty decisions, it says, by other countries in West Africa. What are the implications of this? And is this really, truly a beginning of an era after 75 years of the franc currency? Or is it just a rebranding?
Well, I don't know about rebranding. The thing is, we're not going. You see, sometimes people play down the influence of what you call it now, France and the euro, thinking that they're not. You forget that France and Germany are the biggest players in the euro market. Let me put it that way. You understand? Yeah. They determine the direction of the euro. There are other countries there, but these are smaller players. And so what France has simply done here is, you know, using its, I want to call them vassals, if you might, if I may use that language, you know, since they're no longer colonial states, you know. So they're using them now to, you know, to take control. Now, they didn't have to wait. They have breached an agreement. What is Nigeria saying? Can Nigeria, for instance, call them together and say, hey, guys, you have jumped into this hastily, but we've not met the criteria. And so you can bring them back. But what we're busy doing is brooding and trying to cry and say, oh no, France is doing this or that. Can we, for once, take leadership? We wield the big stick in the border closure thing. It tells you we have power. You can see what influence we have, both in terms of security, like what we did in Liberia and the rest. The truth is, even with France, regardless whether France is there or not, when we sneeze, the rest of West Africa catches cold.
And so, is it too late to take that leadership position you're talking about?
It's not too late. It's not too late. The thing is, an agreement has been breached. Is anyone thinking about it? Is anyone acting on it? They've not met the requirements yet. And so to have made that announcement prematurely, if you say you're for instance, you're dumping the CFA, renaming, if you like, then you've got to come back to the table, sit down and look at it again. What were the conditions? How far? So it's not too late. It's time for Nigeria, and Nigeria can. I know the French play the numbers. I think they're more than the English-speaking countries in West Africa, and they tend to be more dominant. They play international politics better. They're more strategic.
That's the Francophone countries. The
Francophone countries, rather. Yes. They're more strategic, and you know, so they have the numbers as well, at least in this part. But it's not about that. We have the ace as well, and so we can use some of that influence as well. But we also need to do lobbying. We need to lobby the other English,
the Anglophone countries.
The Anglophone countries, exactly. Yes. We need to lobby them. And so this is the time to do it. That diplomacy has to happen right now.
Okay.
So that by the next meeting, we're actually taking charge. And it's time to do that. If we let it linger for too long, we would have slept on our rights, and we would just be playing catch up.
I know you've talked about this so many times, and you probably don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to ask you anyways. When you won that competition to name the currency, what sort of emancipation did you think that the French colonies would be getting with this new currency adoption? What sort of emancipation would they be getting?
Well, I'll say this. At the time, none of that occurred to me, I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
But to think about it right now, I think it would have been the best thing to happen to them. Because the truth is, they've been tied to the apron string of France for all this while. Their currency is, you know, if you like, domiciled or in France and tied to the French franc and all of that. This was the one opportunity for them to break free and become truly independent. I mean, they can go to France when it's convenient for them, but they can also be, if you were human beings, I would say, be a man of their own. You know, be truly independent. This is that opportunity. I don't know what Alassane Ouattara had in mind. I don't know what some of them have in mind, but you know that there's been this mutual suspicion between the Anglophone and the Francophone. And, you know, France is always playing that game as well. You know, it's a mind game that they're playing. So, but the time has come for them to be truly free. And if they understand that, they should take advantage of it right now and become truly, truly free. Because truth is, and I just say this in rounding up this, truly, the French need the African economy more than the Africans need them, although we don't realize it.
Well, thank you very much. That's a good place to leave it. Thank you so much for coming on
Thank you for
Arise Africa.